In the last video, I showed you how to use your seat, tracing around with a seam allowance to create patterns, to create seat covers for your 2.0 wagons. And in the last video, it ended with me showing you how to just create a small pocket for the back of the seat that would slide over the seat to hold it in place. This part would be hemmed, and this part would be sewn into the front of the seat cover itself to hold it on. But now I'd like to show you how I create a zippered pocket to use in place of this just standard basic one. So I'm sure there are a whole bunch of ways that are much easier than what I do. I like my way because it's just a little bit of folding and I don't have to do any more seams than just the top and the bottom, and it gives me a pocket that is really secure because it's folded in with the fabric. So what I do is I start with a rectangle of fabric that's large enough that I know it will fit my entire piece. So this was the piece that I've been using before. So I know this is going to be wide enough fabric, and I know I'm going to have some length. I'm going to turn it over so that little piece that I cut out isn't visible. So I know this is going to be large enough. I'm not going to trace around my seat just yet, or my curve, because I want to put my pocket in before I do it. I know that sounds a little weird, but you'll see why that's necessary in the end. So the first thing I want to do is measure my seat. And I know that I don't want my pocket to be my back any more than 6 inches high, because it'll interfere with this buckle right here. And I know that the zipper on the current seat has zips from the middle outward, but I'm just using a standard 20-inch zipper that's going to zip from one side all the way across. And then I also noticed that my zipper is just at the top where the seat starts to curve. So that information is going to kind of help guide what I'm going to do. The first thing I want to do is create a place where I can put the zipper in, and it's going to make a little bit of a top pocket. So I'm going to take my fabric and I'm just going to fold it down. And I want to fold it down about 1 inch. So I'm going to take my ruler and tuck it up in there, and you can see that's about 1 inch of a pocket up in there, but it doesn't go all the way up. See, it's way down here. My fabric's way up here. So I want to make sure I keep a little bit of my fabric that I can stitch that seam allowance to the front of the seat cover and around. So I'm just going to make a pocket that's about 1 inch, and then I'm going to use a few pins to keep that in place. So I'm going to come down about 1 inch. I'm going to grab a pin, and I sew just about everything by eyeballing it. So if you're not feeling this way, or if you want to make it deeper or more shallow, all of that stuff can happen. So now I have a little pocket up in the top, and what this is going to do is give me an edge to sew my zipper. Now I use a lot of things that I already have. So this is a 22-inch zipper, but you will only need about a 20-inch. And I'm not going to hook or pin this on. I'm just going to show you why this little flap is needed. So the zipper is going to come up under here, and this little flap is going to be what you'll sew to the edge of your zipper. So it'll be under there like that. Now for the bottom of the pocket, I know that I don't want my total piece to be more than 6 inches. I'm going to take my fingers toward the bottom. I'm going to pull it upward, kind of guessing. Do a little fold, same as I did for the top. And I'm going to see about getting a pocket. So right now, the pocket that I made is about 3 inches in depth. I've got about another inch on the top. And if you look at the bottom of my pocket, up until the top of the fabric I have here, it's just about 6 inches. So in a crazy twist of fate, I did that just about perfectly. That will never happen again. It'll take you several times to get the bottom adjusted. So just keep folding it up until you've got a pocket. Okay. Get another pin. Just put a couple in here. Okay, so now what I have is a place that I'm going to sew my zipper to. I've got a pocket that is about 3 inches deep, and it does go up a little if your phone has to kind of sneak up in there. And then the whole thing from the top to the bottom of my pocket is about 6 inches. So what I'm going to do now is turn this over. You see this is my pocket inside with my zipper. And I'm going to cut my fabric at the bottom, leaving enough that I can turn it under and hem it for a nice edge. So I want to cut and leave maybe about a 1/2 inch or so below where the pocket hangs. So when you're done hemming the bottom of this, it's going to be just about at the same depth as the pocket. So you'll turn this part over and hem it, and you'll see the pocket and the hem are going to be about the same place. Okay. Now the only thing that I need to do to this origami piece of fabric is to make the curve, the top curve for my seat. So I'm going to use this just to kind of help me out. But when I did it originally, I used the seat itself, and you can do that. So I line up the seat. I make sure the top of the seat is where my single depth of fabric is. It's not where my pockets start. And I get it lined up, making sure that my little sides here are the same. And then I leave myself a seam allowance. And come on, you. Leaving about a 1/2 inch seam allowance around. You could leave a little more if you're worried about the fit being too tight. Okay. So now it's to the shape of my seat. And I've got a place to hem at the bottom. I've got a place that I'll be sneaking my zipper in. And when I make the video of how to sew the cover, I'll go ahead and show you how you would sew the zipper in too. So it's going to kind of go in there, and you'll see that the zipper is going to stick out the middle, and this will be the top, this will be the bottom. So you have really nice folded edges for the whole thing. Now here is why I couldn't just tell you to make a rectangle and curve it. When I take all these pins out before it's sewn, it's going to have this wonky little shape. So if you notice up here, you've got these little dips in it. So you've got these little V's up at the top, and look how large that piece is compared to what the regular piece would have been. So all of this is the pocket area that we had folded. I'll show you another one that I had cut. Well, maybe I won't. Here it is. This is the other one that I had cut before the last video stopped abruptly on me. And it's a little bit neater. So you'll see how these little V's, I have the pocket at a little bit different depth. So if your V's in the sides here, when you unfold it, look a little bit deeper like this one, that just means that you folded your pocket a little bit deeper on the top or on the bottom. It won't matter. Now to fold it back up before you sew and pin the zipper in, you want to just line up all of these little things. So I'm going to line this up, and then I'm going to flip. So this is lined up and this is lined up, and then just pull your bottom back up. Okay? So that is how I origami my back pocket.